So, my best and most fluent beer reviews always seems to be the ones that are either on like the fifth take, or the ones that are stopped because I run out of memory on my phone, or are the ones where I have to stop the video because someone is phoning on the house phone. I was in such a good rhythm with this beer review, and it was probably going to be, less than 6 minutes. But anyway, who cares? Let's get on with it. As you can tell, the beer is from Anchor, so it's an American craft beer. And this is the California Lager, which is clocking in at 4.9% in a 355ml can. I think there's a story to this and this style actually. Like, I think that only Anchor can do a specific style of beer, and when other people brew it, they have to label it something specific. I'm not too sure. I think I heard that on someone else's review, and if it comes to me, links are down below. But I'm sure a few of my regulars have, who I watch anyway, have reviewed this, so their links will be down below. But yeah, Anchor, you can get quite a few of their beers, and this was bought in Marks and Spencer's for about £1.20, something like that. I've got the receipt somewhere, but I'm not going to waste my time looking at it. It was quite cheap, let's put it that way. And yeah, I think I've had the Steam Lager. I think that's what they do. I think they've got like a patent on the Steam Lager name or something like that. I'm not too sure. I'm sure people will let me know down below. And I've noticed how like pink my face looks on camera right now. I have no idea why. Maybe because I've been doing some cooking in the kitchen and I felt like having a drink. So yeah, for that price from Marks and Spencer's, I'm not going to be too disappointed even if this isn't a really good beer. So I've poured the beer. I haven't tasted it yet. And as you can see from the look of it, it's what you would expect from a lager. It's got that sort of like straw-like, lemony, golden, maybe hints of orange in there, and all but about one finger's worth of maybe an off-white foamy looking head. And I'm not sure how well it's picking up on camera, but that is a little bit more cloudier than some of your other lagers out there. I mean, you can see through it, but it's quite distorted. But yeah, it looks really nice so far, so let's give it a swizzle and a sniff. And the flavour that I got initially is still there. It reminds me of pizza dough for some reason. And then you've got like some Italian herb-like characters to it as well. Very, very subtle, don't get me wrong. But then those malts come in, and yeah, it's not the most aromatic of beers, but what you get in there is pleasant enough if you like your slightly dank, savoury malt notes. There's nothing really too sweet about it, nothing really there's no real pronounced hop character, but I wasn't really expecting that. And there's maybe a slight hint of like a honey, citrusy sort of vibe going on. But very, very subtle. I do get a lot of salad leaves, I get a little bit of rocket, I get a bit of like parsley in there as well. But it is quite muted, and you predominantly get that malt character. So anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. I've sort of got like maybe a slight smooth milky character to that. Very, very slight. Not in like when it's been, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's been invaded by dextrose, that sort of thing, like that buttery thing, which thankfully I've never had too much. But it's got this sort of like creamy feel to it. It's like slightly milky, if that makes any sense. I know that's such a weird thing to say about a lager. Let's pour the rest in there. Not sure if it's bottle conditioned, but I'll give it a twizzle anyway. Well, he says that and he's poured all the beer in before he's done it. But yeah, actually it's that. I don't know, that can't be possible. Maybe I just wasn't really seeing it. Maybe it was slight chill haze, but that's... yeah, it's still got a hint of cloudiness about it, but nothing too major. And now I'm predominantly just getting like a very basic generic sort of malt aroma. Anyway, let's give it a taste, another taste. It's definitely crisp, even though I was getting that sort of like milk texture, maybe. Doesn't leave you too bitter at all on the palate. Yeah, it's got this like weird smoothness, but that light carbonation just helps it along a little bit. Very easy drinking, but flavour-wise, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really getting too much. So on one hand, it's not a bad tasting beer, but on the other hand, it's really got not that much character, to be honest. I mean, there's nothing awful about it, don't get me wrong, but if I suppose it's more of like just these easy drinking, and I mean, these guys are based in California, so you know when you just sat outside in the height of summer, or even summer like the spring months, and you just want to, you know, just have a chill, you want to have your thirst quenched. It's a simple lager, let's put it that way. It doesn't really promise anything too much, so you can't really hold that against it. But this is one of those beers where you can think of at least, you know, within seconds, 10 other beers that you would probably go to before this one. But it's not a bad beer. Don't misconstrue me as like bashing on Anchor Brewing, and I'm sure some of the, you know, styles that we can't really get here in the UK do have a lot more promise to them and have a really nicer execution in what they're trying to do. But for me, this is a fairly inoffensive, slightly pedestrian little lager. Don't get me wrong, I drink this any day over shit like Carling, Carlsberg, Heineken, Coors Light, that sort of Coors, you know, that sort of stuff. I would gravitate towards this one. Mainly because it's got that sense of purity to it and it's not just injected full of shit. But yeah, there are countless beers that I could probably recommend over that one. But if you do see it in your local Marks and Spencer's or bottle shop, for that price, you can't really complain. So in terms of a rating, I'm probably going to give this maybe a 6 out of 10. It's got a little bit more to it than just a boring beer to warrant a 5 out of 10, but I think a 6 out of 10 is quite generous. So yeah, it's one of those beers where I would happily try many more of their beers if I could get hold of it. So I might not really like this one, but I'm sure Anchor do, you know, at least a few beers that I would absolutely love. So for my American viewers, I'm not bashing on Anchor. It's just this really doesn't have too much to it. So yeah, if you've tried this beer before, let me know your thoughts, opinions, if I'm right or wrong. What are your favourite beers from Anchor? This is both to the UK and the US crowd. And yeah, check out my American craft beer playlist down below. Like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, more importantly, I hope you'll join me with a beer yourself when I look at another beer. It's very cool. I've got to work out a better structured ending to my videos. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you later.